Yeah. See, last night I made some recordings about the assholes. Yes. In the CIA. Pow pow. Somebody decided to use some technology to sew people together so that it feels like they love each other. Yes. And then they decided, well, it's time to unsew them so that they hate each other. Ooch. Now, when I go through every marriage license for the last 40 years and I look at the disillusions, I have to ask myself, well, what caused all the problems in their relationship? Oh, mm. Now, exactly how did you match people? Pooch. Now, there's this woman, Marilyn Van Proyen. Yeah, I keep mentioning her. Yes. You say it's not domestic violence to use a picture of my sister, Susan Bowers. Yes. You say it's not violence against myself to inform the court of notices of court hearings. Yes. You say that you can use domestic violence, right, to cause people to have fights so that they have disillusions of marriage. Then it causes personal injury and domestic violence. Yes. And then they can't be sued because you as police departments don't use the right report. Well, I want to know how you sewed them together. I want to know how many marriages are really fraudulent marriages. Yes, because I'm going to sue for X number of billions of dollars right now for your use of technology to sew people together. Now, it's not that difficult to understand that if you can move assholes, yes, there's a good probability that you put one asshole on another and all of a sudden they're in love. But as soon as you put a different asshole on them, they're in hate. Yes. Now, I've told you that it's fraudulent use of evidence to deprive Americans of their rights. But I think there's a much larger lawsuit here. Yes, it's the fraudulent use of technology to cause people to get married when they shouldn't have been married, and then cause them to get divorced when you decided you didn't want them married anymore. It's quite an industry, really, when you think about it. Now, who has the asshole technology that puts the assholes on each other? Sheriff. You had to read the shit. Pooch. You had to know what the population was doing. Yes. You had to read the piss. Yes. And then come to find out if you're going to be in the family right now. It's not just about paying for sex. It's about matching people so that they think that they have this incredibly great sex life together until you change the assholes and then all of a sudden they're getting divorced. Now I'm going to want your technology. Do you fucking understand right now? You've been moving assholes. You put people together and they think they're in love. Then you change the assholes and they start hating each other. Ooch. Now, why don't you get me that? Now, I know a lot of those that have been meeting each other, MEET. Yes, yes, yes. I just want to know all the livestock and meat. Pooch. I realized when I had heard that meat prices were going to stay low because of the tariffs that the president had wanted against other nations for buying our beef. Yes, that Americans were going to be eating more meat. Yes, except, of course, if they didn't get a job and they were on food stamps. Yes. But I want to know all the meat packing because my thought was I was going to manufacture 40% of the hamburger of the United States of America. So just give me every employee of all of those in the meat industry. Yes, because it seemed that those that were lizarded, which you know, pooch, somehow there was the MEAT that they were thinking of, ouch, as in they would eat their sex. Yes, they'd sew into each other's mouths. Yes, and all of a sudden they'd have this ferocious, I mean, really carnivorous sexual desire for one another. As in that lizard of the Illuminati, yes, the non-exist would make them just want to be together, which that would cause them to think that they should be married. You know the inflatable tits I'm talking about? Yes, yes, yes. Now there's a certain place actually. It's called the Mecca. Yes, a lot of these individuals that do the matchmaking in the United States, yes, they don't like foreigners. Pooch. Just give me every Muslim and every Muslim mosque in the United States of America. Yes. And then all of those that visit Mecca, pow, Islam's most sacred shrine. Yes. Now, a lot of those that are Islamic, yes, they have this thing about marriage. But it seems that you've been destroying the whole idea of marriage. Give me every mosque, 20 miles down, pooch, and every member of every mosque in the United States and the rest of the world that wants to know. Yes, because it seems that some Caucasians, yes, that are white haired, yes, that are privileged, pooch, decided that they had to make every fucking decision for the wow. Now I'm a little upset, yes, that you refuse to acknowledge my rights as a citizen, poop. But I'm absolutely sure that there is some racism that we haven't been seeing. Po. Now, there was Masters and Johnson, yes, and they did some study on sexuality, yes. How many of them were in the family that said, well, when you come to find out, you get paid? See, you've been. Now, I know. I want every mosque, pooch. I want every Mormon temple, pooch. I want every marriage license, yes. And then I want to know how you've been matching them. Such a good Mormon marriage, pooch. Isn't that right? Yes. Now, there is a state that has traditionally been, well, black, pooch, for whatever reason. The state of Mississippi, yes. Now, I just want to know, how do you match the Negroes together? Yes. See, when it's white, pooch, and it's privileged, chooch, and you have all the fucking money, pooch, and you can move the assholes around. I just wanted to make sure to get the marriage certificates of the state of Mississippi. Yes. And then how do the African Americans actually introduce to each other, and then how is it that they get married? And I'm not going to say that it's a stereotype that they're poor. They're a drain on the economy. See, the problem with this whole concept, give me every marriage license in the state of Mississippi. How are they sewn together? Now, I've heard of twerking. Yes. Some people find it attractive. Yes. I'm more of a slow dancer that likes to hold a woman close to himself. Yes. When let's say you were slow dancing. Yes. It was like there's not that much lighting really, and you were holding each other very close, and woman began to realize how stimulating the dance is. Yes. That's more of my style. Style of dancing.